I'm gonna watch Tenet on my cell phone when it comes out.
I'm gonna watch Tenet on my smartwatch when it comes out.
I just like
the way that Nolan wanted it.
I just keep seeing like comments of people being like, the only way to watch this movie is in the theaters, and other people are like, the only way to truly watch a Nolan movie is in IMAX. And it's like, nah, I'm just gonna watch it on my phone when it comes out.
The only way to truly watch a movie is the way that you deem it to be the best.
Exactly. Because like anybody who comments like, oh man, I wish they would put this like VOD, you'll see like people responding like, no, never.
Are you a fucking moron? Are you some kind of idiot?
Yeah.
Nolan would cry if he saw your comment.
That's fine. Who gives a shit? It's not his film anymore once he pushes it out into the public.
And it's just like, watching something on your phone right in front of your face, you know, it may not be the same experience as IMAX, but guess what? You're not surrounded by a bunch of sweaty, greasy people that could kill you.
Yes. Like, it was bad enough before COVID hit, going to the theater. Yeah. Now it's even worse, I'm sure. I haven't been.
However, I might start going. There's a drive-in theater not too far away from me, like 25, 30-minute drive. God, why I kind of want to go do one of those.
So do I at some point. Why don't they, like, start opening those up, like, all over the place and, like...
Well, it's just, like, you need a lot of room, I get.
Yeah.
And like, you can only have, like, 2 showings a night just because of, like, how it works, but... Yeah, there's one near me that I think they're showing, like, right now, they're doing, like, a double feature of, like, The Karate Kid and Aquaman. And I'm like, that's a weird double feature.
That is a weird double feature. You think they'd show,
I might go see that.
Karate Kid 1 and 2 or something.
And then I think it's switching to be, Men in Black and the Karate Kid.
What? They're like doing what they'll two do different double features with the Karate Kid.
Well, yeah, what they do, from what I was looking at, their schedule is they have their movies on a rotating basis. So the one in the front of that double feature will then be pushed back to the second part of a double feature when a new movie is introduced.
Man, I feel sorry for, like, the small amount of people who love drive-in movie theaters but absolutely hates the Karate Kid movies.
I mean, it's not like it lasts for like 2 weeks. They could just wait.
Yeah.
Let me check. Drive-in theater. Let me see where the closest one is. I want to look at the schedule because maybe I'm lying. Maybe they're like, no, we're not even showing the Karate Kid. You're lying, London.
Perhaps.
Maybe I'm just a fucking liar. I think it's
I had a weird experience this morning that was kind of fun. I woke up and I had a friend request on Snapchat, and I was like, oh, okay.
Was it David Lynch?
No, I wish. No, it was like, I don't know, some woman's name, and I was just like, whatever, I'll risk it. I'll add it. I know, right? And, like, immediately, as soon as I, like, accepted it, I got, like, a snap, and it was just, like, I don't know, it was, like, outside, and I could see, like, their hair in it, like, at the very corner of the picture, and I was like, okay, I'll bite. This should be a little fun. So, I was like, oh yeah? And they replied basically being like, show me your face. And, I said, you added me first. Why would I show you my face first? And they were like, just because. So I just sent them, like, a sticker that I had in, like, my Snapchat thing from forever ago. It's, like, that picture of me stoned with a mustache. I think I've sent it to you before, but, iconic photo.
Iconic photo.
But immediately they just, like, unadded me. It was pretty funny.
That is pretty fun. Yeah, so it looks like this Friday and Saturday, they have the Karate Kid and Men in Black. Sunday, they have Men in Black followed by the Karate Kid. They switch it up. But next weekend, Monday through Thursday. I guess they do it every day. Monday through Thursday, The Fast and the Furious followed by Men in Black.
That would be a sick crossover. They need to get Will Smith involved in the Fast and Furious franchise. Hey, why are you laughing? Because I said Will Smith? And he's the internet's punching bag right now?
No, he's good. He's pretty cool. I like the William.
Yeah, I know.
William Smith.
I know.
We should do a actor deep dive on William Smith.
Maybe one day. Yeah, I know he's been getting a lot of crap because of that whole Jada thing. But
yeah, and I'm like, what?
It's it.
I'm like, why is he getting crap? They settled it. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
They were reasonable adults that handled their business privately and are now comfortable talking about it. What?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's just the internet's mentality on what men will allow in their relationship. It literally feels exactly almost like that iDubbbz thing. It reminds me a lot. And it's just why do so many people care about this?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Jim Jarmusch, speaking of men.
Yes.
And Adam Driver. They've done 2 movies together.
Yes.
Paterson from 2016 and The Dead Don't Die from... Was that last year? Or was it... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, but first, of course, we're going to hang out, we're going to chill, we're going to talk about what else we've been doing today. Today I watched Guinea Pig.
Oh, the
shock horror, faux snuff film.
Yeah. I've seen, images from them. I haven't watched any of them, though.
So I watched the first one, being okay, this is going to be shocking, but maybe I'll get, something out of it because it's shocking, so at least it'll make me feel something. Wrong! It's fucking boring. It's so boring. It's the worst. It's so fucking boring.
Didn't Charlie Sheen watch one of those movies and
one of those, and apparently he called the FBI because he thought it was a real snuff film, and I'm like, that's not possible. It's so poorly done, and it's so obvious that parts are fake, it's not possible. And apparently it's not a true story. It's a fucking urban myth. But yeah. But it's a fun story.
To be fair.
He also was on coke.
Yeah. So I guess that probably had something to do with it. Yeah, those movies have always been on my radar, but I've never bothered checking them out.
So I saw somebody on my somebody I was following watched the first 2, so I'm like, the first one's only 40 minutes, so I might as well check it out.
Mm.
And I'm going to keep going, because apparently the 6th one, the final one, is, pretty good, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And then there is also the American Guinea Pig franchise as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, it started in 2014, which is the exact same thing. There's 3 of them. Apparently they're much better than the originals. They're actually movies. So I might check those out, depending on how soul-sucking watching 6 fucking terrible faux snuff films are.
Well, I'm sure it probably won't be the worst thing you've ever had to marathon through.
Yeah. Because the Bond films, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Didn't
I haven't watched any more Bond films since the last time we talked. I've just been I can't do it. I will finish them, but I'm just I can't do it.
I feel that. Fuck, I was just about to ask you about something, but it slipped my mind.
Did I finish Puppet Master yet? No.
No, I still have one more to go. I have to watch the reboot that they did.
Yeah, I still have to watch. I
haven't watched.
Don't think I have seen
any Charles Band in a good while. Good minute.
Well, next month's director deep dive after your pick. Maybe I'll pick them. I do want to do that.
We'll do it eventually. It's inevitable.
It's gotta. If we just keep this running long enough, it's gotta happen.
We both have an odd fascination with the man, so it's gonna happen eventually.
Oh. It's unfortunate on unfortunate truth.
Yes.
An inconvenient truth.
But at least we'll get to listen to Richard Band's music.
Yeah, Richard Band is... Yeah, he's pretty good. I do like Richard Band.
He can be. And then sometimes he can be pretty stock.
I think, I don't think I've ever heard a soundtrack from him that's, I would say is, bad. A lot of them are just generic, and I just feel like that's just because it's oh, my brother wants me to fucking make another soundtrack.
Oh, jeez, the 6th one this year, Charles. Give me a fucking break. I don't know if they've actually ever produced that many movies in a year, but it would not surprise me.
I mean, I'm sure Full Moon has, but I know Richard Band's only composed for, I don't know, a lot, but not that many.
Yeah.
What else have I watched this? Oh! I finally got a chance to watch the new Lupin the Third, the CG one.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Honestly... It's some of the best CG animation I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in some of the moments. It looks amazing.
Back a few months ago when you guys were watching through the Lupin movies, I checked out the trailer for it and really wanted to watch it back then when I was in the Lupin mood, but I'll have to check that out soon.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's currently my favorite Lupin movie out of the ones I've seen.
Oh, okay.
It's not the story's pretty generic, but I didn't mind that because I thought that was still fun. It was really fun, and it gave a lot of chances for pretty much all the characters to do something really cool or goofy or something like that. So,
oh, okay.
I think the story, while pretty generic, was utilized super well. And then, semi-related to Lupin, I started to watch Detective Conan.
Oh, yeah. I watched, the first maybe, 60 or so episodes, back in high school.
Okay. I've only watched, the first 5 episodes.
It's... Oh, Jesus fucking... What was that? I don't know what that was. I think something just fell from my seat. Anyway, fuck, where was I? Oh yeah, it's good, but it's really fucking long, and it gets a little repetitive if you watch too much of it, back
because
to
it's
back.
more of an episodic thing.
Yeah.
I specifically started to watch them because I found out that I was looking through Letterboxd top 100 animated films curated by the fan base of Letterboxd. Mm-hmm. And one of the Detective Conan movies is pretty high up on there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm maybe I should give this a go. And I really like the first 5 episodes, so I'll keep that going.
Are you watching it subbed or are you watching it dubbed? Because
I'm watching it dubbed right now because I thought it'd be funny.
So I actually genuinely like the dub. They just localize a lot of the names. So instead of Shinichi, it's Jimmy Kudo.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. But it's not bad. I like the cast, and the fucking English cover of the opening is actually pretty good.
I like the opening quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's very fun. The big issue I have with the dub so far is I really don't like adult Jimmy's voice, but he's not an adult most, sometimes there's a voiceover in his head, but that's not too bad.
I like that voice actor, so,
I don't know what it is.
Too much.
It's not necessarily that I don't like his voice acting, it's just I don't think it fits the character very well. I don't know. Maybe I just need more time with it. I said, I only watched the first couple episodes, but I really enjoyed them for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch more of that. I'll probably watch the first, season, and then watch some of the movies, and then see how I'm feeling after that.
Yeah. Only like the first, like, I think maybe 140, something like that, episodes are dubbed. The dub ended up, like, getting canceled back in the day, so.
Yeah. And then I watched, do you remember the movie Vox Lux that came out like 2 years ago? I didn't see it, but it had Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I remember.
I watched the directorial debut from the guy that made that, which was called Childhood of a Leader, which I hadn't heard about before, but I got recommended it in like the Letterboxd Discord film raffle. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really a fan of it, but it had some interesting stuff going on. A lot of the shots and cinematography and just like the vibe really reminded me of Fanny and Alexander. And maybe it's because I really like Fanny and Alexander that I ended up liking this less, but just was not my jam. I still want to see Vox Lux, though.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was... Oh, and then I watched Nova Seed last night, which is an hour-long animated movie, animated and, like, produced and created by one guy.
Oh, fuck.
Some of the animation goes pretty amateurish at times, but I did end up enjoying it. It's voiced by, like, him and, like, 3 friends. But there's definitely some merit to it, and I like a lot of the like, panning and swaying of the, like, camera angles. Those are really fun. There's some really fun cinematography in it. But overall, it was not, like, amazing, but it was a fun little time.
Oh, okay. Huh. I'll have to add that to my watch list. It sounds pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, and then I watched another Pokemon movie that was awful.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll enjoy Guinea Pig more than the fucking Pokemon movies.
Maybe. There's a possibility there.
What about you? What have you been watching this week?
I haven't watched a whole lot. I rewatched The Strangeness.
The Strangeness.
It's a really bad horror movie from like 1985.
Why? Oh yeah, I remember. Why did you rewatch it?
Reasons. Anyway. And then...
What reasons?
Reasons.
Okay.
And then the rest of my week has been pretty much occupied by been replaying Spider-Man on PS4.
That's a great game. Me too.
It is. Yeah, I've basically just been going around doing like all the side stuff this time, and I haven't played any of the DLC yet, so once I beat the main campaign, I'm gonna jump right into that.
I'm trying to figure out your reason for watching The Strangers. I'm like looking through the cast and crew. I'm like, has anyone on this worked on anything else? I'm like, what's going on?
I don't know if
Everyone's just...
I kind of want to leave it a mystery. I don't know if I want to reveal the answer.
What? Why did you rewatch The Strangers? Oh, God. Was it still a 1 out of 10?
Oh, absolutely. It was awful.
Are you going to make me watch it? Are you going to watch it a third time?
Possibly.
Oh my god.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, that's been my week. The Strangeness in Spider-Man.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah, it was something alright.
Speaking of something, here's some questions from Pierre.
Oh, boy.
Question 1. Which Disney villain would you like to have on the podcast?
That's a good question. Let me think about that for a minute.
I want the bad guy from Cars 2.
I feel like... Oh, man. I don't know. They all seem like just such bad guys. I don't know if I'd want them on the podcast. Who's the bad guy in Finding Dory? I can't remember.
That's not really, like, there's no real, like, bad guy of Finding Dory. I don't know, memory loss?
Alright,
you want memory loss on the podcast?
Yeah, as if we don't have enough of that already.
The embodiment of memory loss?
Yeah, let's go with that. That, okay. Or maybe, Pete in his Kingdom Hearts get up.
Yeah! Pete! Pete!
In his weird zipper pants.
We can wear the zipper pants. Alright, question 2. If you could pick between having longer arms or longer legs, which would you prefer?
Longer... Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like both would benefit me. Probably longer legs because I'm short. But I feel like having, like, really long arms while being short would be kind of cool.
Either way would hurt me. My bones are already too long, so having longer arms or legs feels like it would just be a detriment to my health. But I'd probably take arms because I feel like my legs are at their limit. I'm like, no, don't be taller.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to, like, just donate some of your height to me, I'm always open.
Okay, sounds good. We can both be, what are you, 5'1"?
You what? No.
What, you're like 5'7"?
I'm like 5'6".
That was close. Think about it. We could both be, we could both be 6'1".
That's like 1 inch over, like, my dream height.
Okay, cool. You can be 6 foot, I'll be 6'2".
There we go.
Just kidding. Then I'd feel really weird. I'd be like, why am I not tall? Even though 6'2's tall. Just because I'd literally be shrinking half a foot, so I'd just
it would feel
be
weird.
Very scared. It'd be shocking. Alright, question 3. Have you heard about bug snacks? Everybody is talking about bug snacks.
I've heard of bug juice. I haven't heard of bug snacks.
You haven't heard of bug snacks?
No. What is it?
Well, go look it up. Go look up bug snacks.
Okay.
Bug, and then snacks with an X.
Oh, that...
Bug snacks.
Exactly. I looked up snaz. Okay.
Bug snaz. Oh. Talking about bug snacks.
This looks like something.
It's bug snacks. Bug snacks. Bug snacks. Bug snacks.
I don't like the look that this bug is giving me in, like, all these, like, promo thumbnails.
You should play Bug Snacks.
Maybe.
It's not out yet.
Oh.
Alright. It's a launch title for PS5.
Oh, well. I guess I'm gonna try to get a PS5. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it'll be on PS4 as well, but it'll be launching right around PS5 time. So it'll be on both. And PC, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, God, I have to buy a PS5. Because Miles Morales is going to be, like, exclusively on the PS5? Because if they release it on PS4, I'll just buy it through that. But, I'll have to buy a new console to play a game I really want to play.
I think it's a PS5 exclusive. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so now is the time where we talk about the movies that we watched this week. The problem is, I'm blind. Anyway, let's talk about Paterson.
You want a bowl of soup or something?
Movie... What?
Do you want a bowl of soup or something? Will that help?
Yeah.
Just cures your blindness. Yeah. Replaces your eyes with chickens.
So we're talking about Paterson, 2016, Jim Jarmusch, Adam Driver. This is the second time I watched it. The last time watching it was on November 11th, 2018.
Oh, wow.
So it's been about a year and a half. And I remember really, really, really liking it the first time. So I was walking into this, expecting to really, really enjoy it. And... Dot.
You enjoy it less this time?
No, I enjoyed it more this time, actually.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I think it's mostly because I've gotten a little more into Jarmusch just by seeing 2 more of his films before rewatching this. So, like, having those interesting, like, character dynamics in, like, Ghost Dog and Stranger Than Paradise, I think really helped me enjoy Paterson more. And I think maybe if I had seen even more of his works, I might have enjoyed The Dead Don't Die a little more. Spoilers for in like 25 minutes when we talk about that.
Yeah.
So Paterson is, I don't know, what do you think about Paterson?
I thought it was great overall. There are still some parts about it that I'm like digesting that kind of make me scratch my head. And I don't know if it's just like Jim Jarmuschisms that I just don't understand and can't like identify yet, or if it's just like going for something deeper and I just haven't like figured it out yet. But
so real quick synopsis for everyone. It takes place over a week, starts on a Monday. Paterson, played by Adam Driver,
lives in Paterson,
New Jersey.
He's a bus driver.
He's a bus driver.
Book of secret little poems. He lives with his girlfriend, who is aspiring to be a country... Oh, his wife, my bad.
Yeah.
Who is aspiring to be a cupcake queen and a country singer.
And he lives with his dog. Well, actually, it's his wife's dog.
Yeah,
Marvin.
No, that is 100% his wife's dog.
And so it follows him every day, doing pretty much the exact same thing. Getting up early, going to work, driving people around on the bus, listening to people talk, writing poetry. When he gets home, he kisses his wife, he says hello, they talk, then he takes his dog or her dog for a walk, always stops for a beer at a bar. He talks to the patrons and the owner, whose name is Doc, and then he goes home, and then the next day proceeds.
Yep. And there are like some small like other character arcs, like there's that one guy at the bar. I can't remember the character's name.
It's Everett.
Everett, yeah.
He's played by William Jackson Harper, who at the time I was really into The Good Place, and I've since finished it, so I'm not like as into it. But he's like one of the main characters in The Good Place. So every time I was watching this, I'm like, look at him!
But yeah, he plays this kind of like obsessed guy who's been broken up with like this girl who is explained to be like his childhood friend and kind of gave him a chance in the romance department, but he kind of fucked it up. And yeah, he basically just kind of is going crazy throughout the movie, super obsessive. He won't like back down, and it gets to a point where he even like brings a fake gun in and tries to like pretend he's like, I'm gonna shoot you or I'm gonna shoot myself, and then Adam Driver like just fucking gets the gun out of his hand real quick.
Hits the gun out of his hand, throws him to the ground, and then it's revealed that gun is just
like a toy
foam bullet shooter.
Yeah. This is one of the like plot lines that kind of made me scratch my head. I really like the service it has to the story of like it kind of shows that Paterson is a guy who's willing to like forgive and move on from stuff, like because he runs into the guy again like towards the end of the movie, and they have like a kind of awkward like, oh, you know, I'm sorry about that, and he's like, it's okay, like just don't do it again kind of deal. But that his character arc kind of bleeds into Adam Driver's a little bit there towards the end. And this is one of the parts that made me scratch my head. because, like, this whole movie being, like, a blind experience, I was watching it, and it seemed pretty it seemed like it was taking a pretty, like, expected route. Like, this guy kind of seemed unhappy and uncomfortable in his life, but, like, kind of in a form of stasis. But instead of, like, kind of, like, letting the drama consume him, he obviously, like, translates it into his, like, poetry. And, like, he begins describing, because he's, like, writing his wife a poem. And it gets to the point where, like, the character Paterson himself is, like, describing these, like, really weird, creepy, obsessive feelings. And I don't know, like, I didn't really get the point of that, or, like, where it was going. But there were just some things that, like, made me scratch my head, but overall, like, I did really, really enjoy the movie, and it has me thinking.
I think the main, like, thing that I got from this movie, and the main thing that I get from a lot of Jim Jarmusch's works, the ones that I've seen at least, is that it really wants you to take into account, like, how small interactions with everyday people, just random people, no matter how much of their story you know, like, even just a random, regular conversation can have a lasting impression in your head. So I don't even necessarily think that, like, the poetry in which he is conveying more of those, like, obsessive traits is reflecting on him. It's more reflecting on the things he sees.
Oh, okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I could kind of see that.
So the main big thing that happens in this movie is, I wouldn't even say that Adam Driver's character
versus the dog.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily think that he's necessarily unhappy.
Yeah.
I think it's just he's in a stasis, like you said.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to... he's trying to write, and he's having a lot of difficulty with that. And he's just having a lot of trouble dealing with the fact that he feels that he's a lot less creative and has a lot less initiative than, like, his wife, who stays at home but is, like, constantly doing things.
Yeah. Like
making food or drawing or painting or making music. And she's really good at all, like, most of the stuff she does, she's really good at.
Yeah.
And I think he's a lot of his internal dialogue that we don't necessarily see through words, but we see, like, in his reflections with his body language, which I think Adam Driver's amazing at showing information with his body.
Yes.
I think that the main thing is that he has trouble dealing with the fact that she's just so good at things that she tries to do, and he's been trying to write for so long, and he's still trying to write this one poem, which eventually is destroyed by Marvin the dog. Near the end of the movie, they go out after she is once again successful, and she makes
like $200 and something selling her cupcakes. Yeah, she makes
money selling her cupcakes. So she takes him out to, like, eat and go to see a movie. They get back. He had left his secret journal of poems on, like, the couch, and the dog had just destroyed it completely. And I really like this. I know that not a lot of people, but some people criticize or don't really like this aspect of the movie because it's so obvious in its lead up that something is going to happen to this book. But personally, I really like that because Paterson, he's so stuck in this stasis, and his wife's like, please just go make copies of this. I want to read it. Please let someone see this. I want people to see this. And he's like, yeah, I will. But he's so stuck in his pattern, his everyday thing, that he never does it. Yeah. And ultimately, like, it's shocking for him, but everyone else could see it. And I like that. I don't necessarily think that movies, I don't think need to have some big twist or some big event to happen to, like, the audience, you know? Like, it's fine if it just happens to the characters.
Yeah. Something that I noticed that this movie does, and I think this is just a Jim Jarmusch thing in general, he kind of, like, sets things up to, like, play off your expectations, and then doesn't really, like, do anything with it. Like, the route that I was thinking it was going to go, like, obviously, when he left the book on the couch, I saw that, and I thought, oh yeah, the dog's going to chew that up. But before that point, I thought, like, the wife was going to, like, do something that he would find, like, super, like, distrustful, because there's a line, like, earlier where he's talking about, it's like, oh yeah, I'm writing you this poem, and I use, like, the, you know, blue matches as, like, a reference, and she, like, directly references a line from the poem about, like, the megaphone shape that they make, with the lettering, and I was like, oh, so she's probably been, like, reading his secret book, and is gonna, like, maybe make copies behind his back or something, but it never went that route, so...
I actually really like that line, looking on it, because I thought it the same thing I thought watching it the first time, but the second time, it felt more reflective of the fact that Paterson feels like he's alone on this journey, and with that line, it feels like she's showing that they're so interconnected, and they do have the same mentality. She knows what he's thinking, like, they are husband and wife, and she knows him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's reflected really well that he's not just alone in his journey with the Japanese poet that he meets in the last, like, scene of the movie.
Oh, I loved that scene. That was...
Yeah, it's really, really good. So this final scene, I guess we'll talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Because we're just jumping around talking about some compelling moments we found. So this guy, played by Masatoshi Nagase, who's I've only seen in Suicide Club by my guy. Who's my guy? What's my guy's name? Sorry, I'm very tired today. Fucking
Takashi Miike?
No, not Takashi Miike.
Sion Sono?
Sion Sono, thank you. I can't think of names today. So I've only seen him in that. He's like one of the main characters in that. But in this, he's just this Japanese poet who's just visiting this waterfall, and he meets Adam Driver, and he talks about loving poetry, and he asks, the saddest line in this movie is when he's like, are you too a poet from Paterson, New Jersey? And Patterson's just like, oh, no. And I'm like, no! You can't do that!
You know that man saw through his bullshit, though. The whole, like, uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But they talk about poetry, and I think he's like, poetry is like breathing when Adam Driver says, what do you think about poetry?
I thought he said, I breathe poetry.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what he says. And then when he does leave, they talk for a while about all the great poets. And Adam Driver, this scene's so good because Adam Driver's really, really, like, contemplative and subdued in his performance for, like, the entire movie. Except for, like, two scenes. There's a scene where when he takes the gun out of Everett's hand, he, like, looks shocked, and he looks like he's super frazzled by that event because despite it being a fake gun, he thought it was real. So he's like hyped up and he's kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
And then this scene, he gets super excited talking to somebody else about poetry. The same would go for earlier on in the movie. He meets a twin girl who is also a poet, or she's making poetry. She's like a 10-year-old girl, and he gets really excited about that too.
He also,
and there's
also that guy, like, working on his rap at the laundromat.
Yeah, Method Man.
Yeah. Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently his character in the movie is supposed to be himself.
Huh.
Like, he's just credited as Method Man. But yeah. And then, which is funny, because Method Man's in this, and then RZA's in Dead Don't Die.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I guess Jarmusch just loves Wu-Tang.
Fair.
Yeah. Me too. So, there's that scene at the end. There are just a lot of scenes. I love this movie. I loved it when I first saw it. I love it now even more. And I do think a lot of some of the things that were a little weird to you tend to just be Jarmuschisms. And I think watching it a second time or watching more of his works, I think adapt to it more, I guess.
Yeah.
Were there ever other examples of what you were describing?
Let me see if I wrote anything down in my notes real quick. I know I was jotting some stuff down. Oh, there was that bit where like they set up it's like, hey, be careful, your dog might get like dog napped. And I had that thought like when he first started setting him up like outside the bar. I'm like, oh, is he gonna get like the dog stolen and that's gonna cause like huge conflict with his wife or something? But no, it never happened. It was just kind of like a red herring.
Yeah. No, I don't know what to... I like that scene just because his interaction with those guys is really funny to me, but like that I feel is mostly just a red herring.
Yeah, I feel like that scene is probably meant to kind of like be the scene that directly kind of expresses he's like, yeah, no, I don't like this dog.
But also I think that it's utilized pretty well to describe just the neighborhood itself, to provide a little bit of world building, to go, hey, this neighborhood is pretty crime stricken, and I think that helps lead into the scene with Everett pulling the gun out. But besides that, I don't think there's really any bigger plot line with that scene.
Yeah. Not
but
really.
no, I really like this, and I really like the connection between Adam Driver and what's her name? Gulshifte Farahani? That's probably not how you pronounce it. Apologies.
Yeah.
But I really like her in it. I like them together.
Yeah, no, she was good. I'm glad that it didn't like go down any of the routes that I thought it was going to with her, and that she like remained a pretty likable character throughout.
Yeah, she was just like nice and supportive.
Yeah,
and I think that was one of the big things about Paterson's character is there are parts where it's obvious that her trying new things doesn't work out as well for her, but he just forgets about that because like that pie she makes, he obviously doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, this is good. No, this is good. And I'm like, even that pie actually didn't sound that bad. It's just like, but then you see it, and it just looks like she just cooked whole Brussels sprouts in it.
Yeah.
So it's just a pie crust, cheddar cheese, and Brussels sprouts. But they were just like, it just looks like she just threw all those ingredients together.
Yeah, because he even asks her, he's like, oh, with the new recipe? And she's like, no, I came up with it myself.
Secret pie.
Yeah. And, oh man, when he shoveled it into his mouth, and you could tell he was, like, struggling with it. He had to, like, kind of, like, jet his head up to, like, just kind of, like, get it all in there. It's pretty funny. But
I really, really like Adam Driver in this movie. Probably because he's so soft in comparison to, like, a lot of his roles.
Yeah.
He's just like, hello, I'm Adam Driver.
Yeah, no, this
I'm
is
bus driver.
This is definitely probably one of the most, like, subtle performances I've seen him give, but it's really effective.
Yeah. And the cinematography, I really, really love how this movie's shot.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Like, I like it.
By the guy who did Eraserhead.
Oh, is it? That?
Yeah. What's his name? Is it Floyd? No, hold on. Frederick Elms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He also did The Dead Don't Die, but this was on film and that was on digital.
Yeah, no, that one
Dead
didn't
Don't
look as
Die
very good.
Didn't look great. Like, there were shots that I thought were good, but overall, like, Paterson, I think, is beautiful throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think that Paterson's super, like, compelling in a lot of the stuff. I really like the recurring elements of, like, his poetry is constantly repeating. He has so many repeated lines and repeated concepts, and that goes the same for the entire movie. Like, the structure is just days repeating, but then there's other things, like, he
constantly twins are introduced as a concept in the very beginning, and then he meets like 4 twins. Like twins are constantly being introduced, and there are just a bunch of, and he meets other poets constantly too, or not. He meets 3 other poets, like Method Man as a rapper, obviously poet, and then Sterling Gerrans is the young girl, and then Masatoshi Nagase.
Yeah.
So like I like these recurring concepts. And, of course, the recurring concept of him being like, oh, do I like being from Paterson? Which, yes. That's where Costello's from!
Yeah. Another thing this movie does with its, like, kind of, like, shot composition, I like, on the scenes on the bus when people are talking, it'll sometimes, like, get shots, like, down by their feet, and it just kind of reminds me of, like, someone who's, like, kind of, like, anxious and nervous to make, like, eye contact. And I feel like that, like, works really well with, like, how you can tell he's, like, kind of just eavesdropping on, like, the passengers on the bus conversation, as I'm sure most bus drivers naturally do.
Yeah, because you're bored. You're driving a bus.
Yeah. If someone's going to be speaking on a public transportation, people are going to hear it. More than likely, unless there's like a bunch of people talking, then it might get drowned out. But, yeah, no, I thought that was like a really kind of cool, like, visual, way to kind of like express that tone. But,
yeah, no, I agree. There's, and like I said, I just always love, that part of Jarmusch where he's just like, I want just everyday characters to have some lasting impact on the lead, at least for a time being. And like, even that conversation, like, Adam Driver just listening to that and like laughing or smiling was like enough for me. Like, I like just random characters sometimes.
Yeah, I feel it. They can bring like something to the story. Some level of entertainment at the very least.
But yeah, overall, I really love Paterson, and it's honestly one of my favorite, not just Adam Driver roles, but just Adam Driver movies in general. Yeah.
I would definitely put this on the higher spectrum of Adam Driver movies I've seen. I'd have to like really think about it. There's still a bunch that I need to see though, out of his works. But this I think I might have liked this one more than Stranger Than Paradise, which was my like initial like, oh yeah, this is like the peak mark I've seen for Jarmusch so far.
Yeah, what did you give Stranger Than Paradise originally?
I don't remember.
You give it like an 8 or a 7?
I might have.
You didn't log it on Letterboxd.
Oh no.
Now I have to go listen to the other podcast. But yeah, this is a 10 for me personally, but this is also like the type of movie I fucking dig, so.
Yeah, I would give this a 9.
Okay, very cool.
I liked it.
Yeah, this is also my favorite Jarmusch film so far. After watching this, and although, spoiler alert for the next movie, I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I do really want to watch more Jarmusch films. I don't know why it is, but I really, really want to watch Night on Earth.
Oh,
I don't know if you're familiar with that one. It's an anthology film about taxi drivers.
Yeah. No, I've seen, like, images and stuff from it. Yeah, that one's on my watch list, too. That one and, like, Coffee and Cigarettes are, like, the 2 big ones I've been meaning to, like, still watch.
Yeah.
But I eventually want to probably watch all of them.
I just realized, I've been meaning to watch Mystery Train, which is another one of his, for a while, and I just realized that the main guy in that is Masatoshi Nagase.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, Jim Jarmusch really likes bringing back his, other actors. Speaking of which, The Dead Don't Die!
Yeah, alright.
Which brings back a lot of them.
Yeah,
because Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton, Tom Waits, Those are like the big ones that have had big roles in his other movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fuck, this movie pissed me off. I didn't like it.
I didn't hate it. Well, I assumed you hated it. It didn't really piss me off. I was just kind of
I think this
disinterested.
Movie, I think the biggest thing that pissed me off about this movie was the one... I found one scene so offensive as, like, a zombie fan. Because,
it's probably important to note that this movie's pretty obviously making fun of zombie movies. Like, yeah. I feel like Jim Jarmusch just does not like zombie movies. Like, time to make fun of them.
Probably, but, like, holy shit, Jesus Christ. Like,
so I guess we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Here's a quick synopsis, because this movie not a lot happens. Adam Driver and Bill Murray are small town cops in, like, literally very small town of Centerville somewhere. They talk, they go around, they meet some people, and then zombies start rising. Everybody dies. Tilda Swinton, who was some random lady that had just moved into town, turns out to be an alien, leaves, and then the zombies kill off the two main characters in the movie ends.
Yeah. Okay. So, the two biggest things that pissed me off about this movie. The first thing is, I think the character's name was Bobby, the gas station guy. There's a scene...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's, like, with Danny Glover, and they're, like, barricading up the place or whatever, the hardware store, and, Bobby's kind of just sharing his zombie film knowledge, and I don't know if this was, like, intentionally wrong, but he's like, oh yeah, you know, zombies, like, they go for the brains, like, and then he's like, there's some movies where they go for, like, flesh, but that's, like, rare. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's one franchise, pretty much, that, like, popularized the brain-eating thing. Everything else in the zombie genre is, like, 9 out of 10 times, it's usually, like, flesh-eating zombies. He even, like, references, like, Ramiro, who is the blueprint for modern zombies in the movie. Speaking of which, I also hated that scene where... Like, Selena Gomez is like, wow, your film knowledge is impressive.
I think you're viewing that scene, like, the wrong way.
Maybe.
Because I feel like that scene worked for me because it was supposed to be fucking stupid. Like, no, his film knowledge is not impressive. He knows, like, 5 popular movies. And I think that's why his spewing off his zombie knowledge was fine with me, because it was shown, like, at least to me, that he didn't actually have an impressive knowledge.
Yeah, maybe. I was just watching it, so like, my eyebrow was twitching. I thought it was
pretty tongue-in-cheek, so I was fine with it. Like... Because a lot of the humor in this is supposed to be, like, super deadpan and, like, just making fun of itself, I think. I feel like the Jarmuschisms are escalated to a point that he's just kind of making fun of himself, but not in an effective way. Like, there are a lot of concepts in this movie and ideas that I think are really funny to try, but they just don't really pan out.
Yeah.
For example, so we don't even see our two main characters, like, a ton. We go to a lot of different people. And it's the same thing of wanting to show, like, everyday people in this town. He still wants to do that. But unfortunately, none of these characters say anything worthwhile or are, like, worthwhile characters, in my opinion.
No.
Like the 3 kids in the... I don't know where they are. Are they in, like, a juvie or a mental hospital? I'm not sure. They're wearing uniforms, but
yeah,
they have a boy, like...
It seems like some sort of, like,
and then Jarmusch just forgets about them until, like, the end of the movie.
I don't even remember what happens to them. The last thing I remember is, like, the one girl going, quick, follow me. I know, like, a safe place to hide. And that's the last thing I remember from them.
I also don't
Is
really
that the last
remember
time
what
they're
happened.
in the movie?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Because now, but, like, it's that, and then, like, the Selena Gomez's character, like, there are moments with Selena Gomez's character that I thought were funny. Personally, I thought your film knowledge is impressive was funny because of the exact opposite reason why you didn't like it. Like, I thought it was pretty tongue-in-cheek. But also, there's a scene where she's just walking by and Adam Driver's character just goes, she's part Mexican. And they're like, what? How do you know? He's like, they're my favorite people. I have an instinct for this or something like that.
Yeah.
And personally, I thought that was I, like, laughed out. That was the only part in the movie that I, like, laughed out loud at.
Some of the parts I found particularly humorous were, like, the bits where, like, kind of the deadpan reactions from, like, Adam Driver and Bill Murray. And then it mostly kind of leaned towards, like, Adam Driver as the film went on, because Bill Murray eventually ended up kind of buckling under the, like, pressure of the situation. But, like, just how, like, in every situation, he's just like, nah, like, I think this is gonna end pretty badly. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, that was probably, like, my highest source of enjoyment from this film.
I like the more meta humor. Like, I thought there's a recurring joke where Adam Driver has read the script.
I did not like that.
I thought it was fine, but I think it only worked because I really liked Adam Driver's delivery of that line. But I also think that I'm, like, obsessed with Adam Driver, so maybe that's just it. But I think that the only reason, and Hinatea watched this with me, and she agreed pretty much that the only reason that I got some enjoyment from the movie was mostly because of Adam Driver.
Yeah, because it... yeah, I think if Adam Driver wasn't in this movie, it would be pretty bad, probably. I mean, they could always theoretically find another... yeah, it's already bad enough with Adam Driver.
Here's how they fix it, though. Instead of Bill Murray, it should have been Adam Driver and Song Kang-ho.
That would have been good.
I'm still waiting. It's never gonna happen. But I need them to be in a movie to go. I don't know. Maybe Bong Joon-ho really likes Adam Driver. Maybe he'll put him in a movie.
Maybe Adam Driver will star in the Parasite remake.
There we go.
Didn't they say they were trying to get, like, Mark Ruffalo for that?
Mark Ruffalo is, like, co-producing it, so I'm pretty sure he is in it.
Okay. That's not too bad casting. That's a pretty
Adam Driver could play the rich dad.
He could. That would be interesting. I don't know if I could handle not liking Adam Driver. Or he can play the rich son. The little boy. He can run around on his knees. Go. I'd watch that. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like so much of the names, even the names. So Tilda Swinton plays a name called Zelda Winston. She plays somebody named Zelda Winston. And Rosie Perez plays Posey Juarez.
Yeah.
I was just like, Jarmusch! Jim, stop it!
One sequence from this movie I actually did like. I liked when they were, like, in the cop car, like, at the end in the cemetery, and, like, their, like, windows are caked in zombies, and the red and blue, like, cop lighting while they're, like, in the car. I thought that was, like, a pretty neat little, like, kind of set piece that they were working with there.
I will say that, for me at least, I know a lot of people, from, like, the reviews I was reading, a lot of people thought this movie was really, really boring and, like, really, really slow. I didn't find it to be slow, personally. Yeah. I was, like, pretty disinterested in the movie, but, I mean, like, it went by fast for me, so I'm like, that's a plus, I guess.
I didn't think the movie's overall pacing was slow, but there was definitely, like, some, what I would call, like, slow editing in it. Like, they'll, like, linger on, like, certain scenes, but I think that was, like, intentional to, like, kind of milk the scene, like, as absolutely, like, dry comedy as it possibly, like, could be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a specific like shot in which like, or a specific scene where that happened, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. But I know that there were like scenes like that in the movie.
Man, and like, I thought it was funny like the first 2 times they played The Dead Don't Die. Like, at least like, it gave me like a smile.
Oh no.
Because they're like, ho ho, it's the theme song. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cute. But then they just kept playing. I'm like, no, it's not. Jarmusch, I know what you're doing. It's not working. Stop it.
Yeah, I heard it. The first time I've ever heard this song was the opening credits for this movie, and I was...
Wait, really?
Yeah. No, I'd never heard it before.
That's like, you're like Bill Murray's character, and I'm Adam Driver.
No,
great song.
Literally, because like, after like the first time they played it, I was just like, oh my god, please don't play that again. And they kept playing it, and then Bill Murray eventually like tosses the CD out the window, and I was like, oh, thank you.
And I mean, like, I think that idea, like the idea of that joke kind of works, but getting it to the point where it's obnoxious for the viewer and not just like the cast or the characters, I feel like is a bit much, because I think that joke, like that oh, I'm just tossing it out the window is a good idea, but I don't want to be annoyed.
Yeah.
And I just unfortunately felt like a lot of the ideas in this movie could have worked, but instead just came off as annoying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it's like, there was too many characters for me. Like, if it was just one scene of a character, that would be fine, but it was 2 or 3 scenes per set of characters. And I think that was the big issue, because Paterson works and like other Jarmusch movies work because there's just like one scene with random people. That's fine. And then you could see them die. That would work for me. But they dedicated like 2-3 scenes with all these different people. But that means that there's like no character for the leads, like at all. They're just there. Like Adam Driver's just Adam Driver putting on a deadpan like delivery. That's like all he is. There's no... Tilda Swinton, who's like an alien, was like the most boring character ever. She had a sword. That was pretty cool. I kind of like the ash effect they use on the zombies that spill out. Like, kind of. I feel like it wasn't done properly, but some of the visuals I liked when a zombie died, I guess.
Yeah. God, I wish, like, even the zombies didn't, like, look very good in this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, if you're gonna make a really bad zombie movie that's just meant to, like, shit on the zombie genre and be, like, the kind of, like, laziest interpretations of, like, what you can have. Because they obviously, like, reference the George A. like, Romero theme of the zombie apocalypse, where it's, like, the zombies kind of, like, go on and, like, do what they did in real life.
Yeah.
And in Dawn of the Dead, you know, he referenced how, like, oh, you know, mall shoppers are like zombies, you know, that was the kind of like bam stamp of commentary for that film. And
yeah, and it's the same thing, the same commentary. It's just consumerism bad in this one.
Yeah,
which like I agree, but I still don't think that theme was properly utilized.
Yeah, not at all.
Which is unfortunate, because every other Jarmusch film I've watched I've thoroughly enjoyed, so it's just like,
yeah, this is the first one where I'm like, oh man, I actively dislike this movie.
I can't remember. Did you like Ghost Dog?
I wasn't like super crazy about it, but I mean, I didn't like dislike it.
Okay.
There were
I
definitely
personally
bits,
liked Ghost Dog quite a bit.
Yeah, there are definitely like bits that I enjoyed from it, like, oh, it's the fucking Birdman.
Yeah, which is funny because like, it seems like when a movie's not completely a comedy that Jarmusch does, he does really well with those comedic parts, but this felt like he just wanted to make a funny movie at times, and by doing so, he fails to make a funny movie.
Yeah.
Like, his comedy works so much less, because I feel like a lot of the jokes in, like, Paterson or, like, Stranger Than Paradise work the vast majority of time, but all of these jokes, I felt like it was like 20% of the jokes worked.
Yeah.
Maybe not 20, maybe like 30, but...
Also, I might like Ghost Dog if I were to rewatch it. That was my first Jarmusch film, so...
Oh, that's true.
I'm sure my take on it now would be wildly different compared to what it was back then.
I feel it.
But, yeah, no.
Overall, this was just like a fucking mess, which is sad because when I first saw that it was coming to theaters, I was really excited to see it, but then we didn't get it at our theaters. So I'm like, well, I'll just watch it when it comes out on like DVD. And then it was apparently really bad. And I'm like, I'll just watch it eventually. And now I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah. Well, what would you give this one?
I mean, I still didn't hate it. Like I said, it wasn't offensively bad to me, and there were moments that I did laugh, and like there were parts that I liked. So I'd give it a 4 out of 10.
That's also what I'm giving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there are parts I liked. It's just like overall, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah. What happened to those kids? Did we ever figure that out?
I looked. They just ran off, pretty much.
Oh, okay, one of those dropping Jarmusch plot lines. Got it.
Well, and it's just like, I guess it could be construed as like kids because they weren't consuming any, like they were innocent in this. I don't know.
Weren't they watching TV at the very beginning of the fucking movie?
Yeah, but that's different when they're like in a place they can't leave. Like I'm not gonna blame them for that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I did not like this movie.
Yeah. Anyway, we're doing another director deep dive, and I'm very excited about this one. Thomas already give me the scoop on who we're working on. But you want to tell the audience, Thomas?
Yeah, good old classic David Lynch.
I really thought you were going to switch to Charles Band today.
No.
After you said something, I'm like, he's going to say Charles Band.
No. All right. No, I wouldn't.
So
do
we're
that.
watching. So we've already covered 2 David Lynch movies?
Yeah, we've done Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead before.
And so we're watching 5 of his movies?
Yes.
Okay, and what are they?
We're going to be watching Elephant Man, Blue Velvet. I've seen those 2. And then Wild at Heart, Lost
Which
Highway.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of those. And then I've seen part of Inland Empire, which is the final one that we'll be watching. I was going to throw
watching The Straight Story?
I was considering throwing that in there. If you're fine with doing 6, I'm fine with doing it.
Oh,
But beware that Inland Empire is really long, and
yeah, it's like 3 hours and like 8 minutes. Oh no, it's just 3 hours. Wait, you're not gonna watch Dune?
Nah.
No, they're all like 2 hours, and then Inland Empire's 3.
Yeah.
So let's just stick with those 5.
Yeah, we'll cover Straight Story.
We'll eventually do Straight Story and Dune.
Yes, that'll be our next David Lynch episode for a director double.
We'll do Straight Story, Dune, and Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
No, that Twin Peaks stuff will all be in its like own self-contained stuff when we get there.
Well, isn't like Fire Walk with Me like its own movie? And then like what? I don't really know.
The way that Fire Walk with Me works is so basically there's season 1 and 2. And then there's Fire Walk with Me, which acts as both a prequel and a sequel to the first 2 seasons.
What the fuck? And then what is Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces?
Okay, I was just about to get to that. So when making Fire Walk with Me, David Lynch was, the film was super long, so he had to cut a bunch of shit out. So the deleted scenes are just spliced together in this thing called The Missing Pieces. There's this fan edit that whenever I watch the movie, I always watch the fan edit. You have to give, it sacrifices a little. You don't get, David Lynch's, editing and stuff like that. And the definitive version of the film for him is, the actual Fire Walk with Me. But honestly, I think that the edit context makes the film much more enjoyable to myself personally.
Okay.
But, and I watched that after Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah, so the order goes Twin Peaks, the original series, seasons 1 and 2, Fire Walk with Me, Missing Pieces, and then The Return, which is season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How long are the seasons of Twin Peaks?
The first season is only like, I think 7 episodes. It's not super long, but they're like 40-ish minute episodes. And then season 2 is longer. I think that one might be... Let's look that one up real quick. But season 3 is 18 parts, so it's 18 hours long.
Each episode's an hour, not 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But it's super good. Love it. It's basically like a fucking 18-hour film, and it's great. It's like peak David Lynch for me. I love it. Season 2 Twin Peaks is like, I want to say like 20-something episodes. Let me see.
22?
Yeah,
And is that,
22.
are those an hour long?
Those are like 40, 45 minutes.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right.
Long series.
Cool.
But worth it. Definitely.
Cool. I'll eventually watch it.
Yeah, just make sure that when you do sit down to watch it, don't just like watch the first episode. I say like episode 3 is like the point where like Twin Peaks starts really like kind of coming into itself and starts to like become what it is like remembered as, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for the director deep dive. It'll be exciting. I would say 6, but I'm in the process of... I'm actually staying where I am instead of moving.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's a... Actually, we'll talk about this off the podcast,
yeah.
But I'm staying where I am, but I still have people moving here, so I have to get ready.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be busy this week.
Okay.
Busier than I should be for watching 5 movies, but I'll just try to watch them not all on, like, Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I really like this new thing where we're not recording 7-hour podcasts, except for the next week. It'll probably still be long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Talking about David Lynch.
Yeah, it's hard to describe a David Lynch movie without.
Yeah, it's like
he
does this thing where he goes boo 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 on his keyboard, and like it's supposed to represent like society and how he feels when he eats a bagel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Adios.